So here it is with my guitar. And my first song to you will be Some Might Say by Oasis. I hope it can mean something to me and to you as well. Some might say that sunshine follows thunder. Go and tell it to the man who cannot shine. Some might say you get what you've been given. If you don't get yours, I won't get mine as well. Some might say we will find a brighter day. Some might say we will find a brighter day. 'Cause I've been standing at the station in need of education in the rain. You made no preparation for my reputation once again. The sink is full of fishes, she's got dirty dishes on her brain. It was overflowing gently, but it's so elementary, my friend. Some might say, some might say. Yes, thank you guys. That was Some Might Say by Oasis. I really appreciate that. Aside from this being one of my favorite Oasis tracks, this sounds pretty relatable, right? Some might say that sunshine follows thunder. Go and tell it to the man who cannot shine. It might be someone in the sunshine. It might be easy for someone in the sunshine to say, oh, sunshine follows thunder, so don't complain and just work. But realistically, every now and then we find ourselves in a situation where we just cannot shine and others' words just seem feeble. In this case, Oasis tells us to keep pushing and we will find a brighter day eventually. This is the pulse of positivity and faith that Britpop music often gives me, and I just wanted to take this chance and share this positive energy with you. Next slide, please. And just to give you some context information, the Britpop movement sparked in the 1960s with the Beatles and eventually culminated in the 1990s with the famous rivalry between Oasis and Blur. Now, for those of us who were around 30 years ago, I wonder if you still remember music back then. Mainstream music was becoming generic, American, and oligopolistic. Not that I'm saying that these are bad things, but lyrics started to mean nothing because essentially the only way for artists to succeed was having a giant record company behind their back. And as a result, there was things like disco. For example, Wake Me Up Before You Go Go and What Is Love, as you can see in this guy's face. What do you mean, wake me up before you go go? And what is love exactly? We can associate no images with these songs except for this, I think, this bodybuilder that we see on the internet all the time. And as songs like these planted themselves into mainstream popular culture, meaning began to slip away from music. Songs started sounding like each other, and this trend actually carries on to some of modern pop tracks as well. And for example, let's just give you an example. Wake Me Up Before You Go Go. Its chorus goes, wake me up before you go go. Don't leave me hanging on, go like a yo-yo. Wake me up before you go go. Take me dancing tonight. Actually, the very reason why I struggle to remember these lines is that these lines are just so generic. What do you mean going solo like a yo-yo before you go go? This is rhyming just for the purpose of rhyming. But if you were to take that and compare with this, can you please hold the mic for me? Hold the mic. Thank you. If you were to take this kind of music and compare with this, this is She's Electric by Oasis, I think. She's electric. She's in a family full of eccentrics. She's done things I never expected, and I need more time. She's got a sister, and God only knows I missed her. On the palm of her hand is a blister, and I need more time. Thank you. the contrast and level of meaning is very apparently shocking. The first is saying, okay, I'm so lonely, can you please take me dancing? Or the second is saying, okay, this girl is shocking. I don't know much about her or about her family, but I just really, really like her because she's just electric. Both songs are talking about love in rhyming and rhythmic ways, but the second just captures the raw power and the suddenness of love so much better than the first. And in general, Britpop music to me is almost nothing like some of the mainstream music that we see nowadays. It's not so much about meaninglessly repetitive choruses, but about emotions being faithfully conveyed. It's not so much about the standard of mass-produced music, but just sparks of innovative experiments. And to be more abstract, it's not so much about the toxic love and sex that we see in some music nowadays, but just the simple motivation of just loving what you do. And that, I think, is the pose of Britpop, being genuine and being positive. Next slide, please. Next slide, thank you. Now, imagine turning on a nightlight in a pitch black room. At first, it might be stunning, it might be so bright, but eventually you'll have color, you'll have light, and you have clarity. That light was the Beatles in the 1960s when the world was pitch black. In the 1960s, wars were waging all around the world. The Vietnam War killed Americans and Vietnamese alike, and only people who profited from these were politicians and the industrialists and the capitalists. And the police were arresting people on the streets for no reason at all except for just fighting for their own rights. And everybody in the world was knee-deep in trouble, and the Beatles did not like it. If you don't remember who the Beatles were, here is one song that might remind you of them. In fact, let me just sing this on my own. Hey Jude, don't make it bad. Take a sad song and make it better. Remember to let her into your heart, and then you can start to make it better. Hey Jude, don't be afraid. You were made to go out and get her. The minute you let her under your skin, and then you begin to make it better. Okay, what was the name of the song, by the way? Does anybody know? Hey Jude, yes, exactly. And oh, by the way, can you guys all can hear me, right? When I'm singing without the microphone. Okay, perfectly, then I won't have to trouble someone else. Okay, and the writer of this song, the co-writer, or I would say, John Lennon, a wonderfully gifted rebel and thinker, and I would say, father of the Britpop movement, had better visions for the world other than the violence. He imagines a world in which there is no hunger, no greed, and for there to be nothing for which to kill or die. His band, instead of that need for violence and for conflict and for global domination, his band tells us that really all we need is just love. And this song that I'm about to play is actually one of my favorite Beatles tracks of all time, because although there is simple composition, simple lyrics, the meaning that was implied for the world was just phenomenal at the time. So anyways, here is All You Need Is Love by the Beatles. Just give me 1 second to pick up my capo. Oh. Okay, All You Need Is Love. Okay, that was All You Need Is Love by the Beatles. And I think this is one of my favorite tracks of all time because this just implies such a meaningful message to a world that is dark. It's like literally a torch in the darkness. And instead of being content with the violence, his band combats the violence and in turn provides the world with a dose of tranquility and harmony. This, I think, is the pose of Britpop in one of its earliest forms. The pose that imagines the world to be more than the status quo, for it to be positive, for there to be peace, and for there to be love. Next slide, please. Thank you. However, positivity wasn't the only reason why Britpop was one of a kind. Remember the disco music that we were talking about What is Love and Wake Me Up Before You Go Go. This is nothing like it. You remember how these pieces of music just seem fake, like writers have no idea what they're talking about because they just couldn't care less. Why would you have to spend time writing real music when you can just make loads of money writing fake music? And at the end result of that is just like a bag of chips. Bag of Lay's chips, just imagine that. All air and grease and no material. But that is never Britpop. Because most Britpop musicians come from a class of ordinary people, they can relate to their audience of ordinary people like pieces of a jigsaw. They themselves were once the laborers, the workers, the people struggling with their lives, the smokers, the alcoholics. They were struggling with their lives and looking for a light in their lives, and that was music to keep them going. A great example of that would be Cigarettes and Alcohol by Oasis, which this is the album cover of that, Cigarettes and Alcohol by Oasis. In fact, this is referring to the resigned lifestyle that many people lead because cigarettes and alcohol, resorting to pleasure from tobacco and booze. In fact, in the modern context, I'm pretty sure that this song will be called, TikTok and Instagram. But anyways, here's what it sounds like on acoustic guitar. Oh, sorry about that. Or have I finally found something worth working for? I was looking for some action, but all I found was cigarettes and alcohol. You can wait for a lifetime to spend your days in the sunshine. You might as well do the white line, 'cause when it comes on top, you gotta make it happen. 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 Okay, next slide, please. Thank you. Now that we heard the rhythm, let's take a look at the song in more detail, because Cigarettes and Alcohol is really a track that that captures the reality of being alive as a teenage working class person in the 1990s in the UK, which absolutely sucked. In the 1990s and the 1980s that preceded it, there was Thatcherism, which was a series of governmental reforms that privatized many sectors of public life. Like, for example, many national-owned industries were privatized. Many public services were privatized. And as a result, the life quality, the living quality of the British people just plummeted. It went straight down, almost like diarrhea. And as a person who has that on a regular basis, I can tell you that it does not feel good. And the British people just had their worst life since World War II. And many people hated Margaret Thatcher for it. And in fact, some of them even went as far as to do some pretty questionable things to her grave after she died. There are children here, so I can't tell exactly what. But if you really want to know, go on Google, type Margaret Thatcher plus grave plus public bathroom and see what you find. But in any case, this loss of jobs, loss of hope, loss of confidence in the government, and most detrimentally, loss of pride in the empire on which the sun never sets, really packed a punch to the British people, leaving them dejected and broken. And all of that is captured in the first two lines of the song. Is it my imagination, or have I finally found something worth working for? I was looking for some action, but all I found was cigarettes and alcohol. And this was the social condition that Oasis had to work with. This was the disillusionment. This was the British people feeling broken. But instead of being content with what things were, Oasis combats that and in turn encourages the audience to just go ahead and do. You got to make it happen. And very fortunately, in the next few years, Great Britain did make it happen. With the new Labour government, their public life recovered, and with their new position in the European Union, Great Britain was back on its way to the top. But in 1994, Oasis was not intent on getting big. They wrote ordinary, genuine songs about the ordinary, genuine life of ordinary, genuine UK citizens in a time and in a place that seems like all hope has been lost. Their success is the success of the ordinary British people, of an ordinary country that we know as Great Britain, and about the hope that they carried on, even though things were against them. It's really just that simple. Next slide, please. And at the end of the day, the story of Britpop is actually really simple. Of Oasis, it's about 5 young men in Manchester making it work. They never finished high school. They never started high school, as a matter of fact. They never thought about college. They never had a decent job, but they just never stopped believing in what they thought was their dream. And this is the pose of positivity and faith that I think all of us can learn from. Britpop inspired the British people to go ahead and just make it happen in the 1990s. And I'm hoping that the same positive energy will do the same for you. And at the very last, I wanted to tell you that it is exactly because Oasis music and Britpop music in general is so real, is written by ordinary people like us and for ordinary people like us, you might very easily find your own life depicted in one of these songs. And I just wanted to sing you one last song, and perhaps the most well-known Oasis track of all time. See if you can know it. This one is my last song, I think. Here. Slip inside the eye of your mind. Don't you know you might find a better place to play? You said that you've never been, but all the things that you've seen slowly fade away. So we start a revolution from my bed, 'cause you said the brains I had went to my head. Step outside the summer times and boom. Stand up beside the fireplace, take that look from off your face, 'cause you ain't never gonna buy my heart out. And so Sally can wait, she knows it's too late as she's walking on by. Her soul slides away, but don't look back in anger, I heard you say. Okay, that's it for me. Have a great rest of your afternoon, everyone. Thank you.